We have what could be a little bit of a contagion spread on our hands as we do watch the stock markets drop significantly, right? The stock market heat map looking very, very similar to the Crypto Bros heat map, which looks like this, with pretty much everything absolutely red across the board, and nothing is catching a bid over there. Not even a dead cat bounce, no relief rallies, just straight down, right? So in today's show, we're going to talk about what this means for the crypto markets, how the contagion could spread, where these support levels are going to be, how long this could potentially last, and where there is a bull market somewhere else. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight into the show content over here. Yeah, it's looking brutal, really brutal. You have things like Apple, big stocks starting to turn over there. Nvidia obviously down a whole lot, and that looks like it's in free fall. And ultimately, there is definitely a downtrend. It's not really debatable anymore when it comes to the stock market. We've printed lower lows across the board, and now you need to be looking for the next relief into a potential lower high, and this changes the entire macro picture, right? So there is at least trouble on the horizon. I know that probably not the same or not the information that you guys probably want to hear, but it's better to be real about it, right? And we need to see something massive shifting from the Fed. We have some high impact data coming out today, so we'll see if that does assist with any of the transitions, right? If you look at this from Joe, he says over here, COVID versus now, beta indexes have collapsed faster now than during COVID, except that we don't have any COVID this time, right? Which means that we don't have a worldwide pandemic, which also means that we don't have necessarily any stimulus that's coming around the corner with quantitative easing, which means that ultimately, you know, the drawdowns can be long and painful, right? It can be a slow grind. So definitely capital preservation is the name of the game. You want to hold on to your cash. You want to be very careful and cautious before jumping into long-term positions, you know, establishing those long-term trades. I wouldn't say that you need to rush into any of that, right? Because we've seen a real shift. So let's see what happens today with the high impact data coming out. CPI today, PPI tomorrow. That's going to be highly important. If it comes out worse than expected, that's probably going to be the catalyst that drops prices through to the next levels. And then that's probably where you get your short-term buying opportunity, at least for a bounce, right? So it could be today. Today could be the day. You want to keep your finger on the pulse, stay in the markets, pay attention. If you want to stay up to date with us on everything, jump into Whale Room. That's where we're going to be doing it right in the moment if we do get the capitulation. So Nick says over here, economists expect inflation to be actually milder for February than it was for January in the CPI, though that's not saying much since January was hot, right? So we'll see what comes out with this. Expectations are for headline and core to rise by 0.28%. On a seasonally adjusted basis, right? Bringing the 12-month rates down slightly. So year on year might come down slightly, but we'll see. We'll see what happens over there. Here's your stock market. We spoke about this, you know, dropping that level. You now got about 6.48% to go before hitting the target. I'm not saying that you won't bounce in between. There will be violent bounces over here where everyone will say, you know, that that was a big bear trap. And it's over and we're back into up only mode. But what you need to be cautious of is that lower high. So very easy. All you have to do is this, right? I'd be gauging the high time frame whenever that bounce does come. I'll just pretty much, let's change that up there. Let's grab our fib over here, grab our fib retracement. All I'd be doing is just marking out these areas over here. And then I would have a look at where is that, there we go, the golden pocket and the 50% level. And as price moves down, of course, you need to trail this down, which is going to change the lower high trajectory. But the most probable outcome for a lower high is going to be straight into that golden pocket over there. So if you see the stock market bounce today, maybe off of favorable CPI, that's all good and well. But will it be sustained is the question, right? That could lead into a lower high over there. And then you're going to continue to probably march down. This is the first major shift that we've seen within the stock markets since 2021. And we know that crypto has no hope when the stock market is going down, right? There's just no possible way at this point in crypto's lifetime cycle that it's going to deviate, right, completely away from the stock market. So we can also use the VIX. The VIX is the volatility index for the S&P 500. What we have noticed with the VIX is that it has found most of the major lows within the stock market. So when the VIX spikes into the gray box over here, you can see the stock market does put in those lows. So here's one, VIX spikes in there, up. right? VIX spikes into there, chops about, and then up. VIX spikes into here, COVID lows, and up, right? Every single little dip, VIX spikes into there, and price goes up. VIX spikes into here, price goes up. VIX spikes into here, price goes up. VIX spikes into here. Excuse me, that was the COVID lows. Price goes up. And we've seen this on repeat. So keeping a very, very close eye out on if we do get the volatility index moving into here, S&P 500 comes all the way down, drops a bit lower. One of the targets that we outlined yesterday was around that 5,200 region on the stock market. That could mark the major, major low. And then all you need to do is correlate that to crypto and see what crypto does. So right now, if we look at the, the S&P 500 with the EMA ribbons over here, or the super guppy indicator, it's not looking good, right? It's a no trade zone at the moment. Definitely not telling you to be long over here. It's telling you to, if anything, sell every single bounce, and that's on QQQ, Dow Jones. We can look at NVIDIA's now turned red. It's in a downtrend. MicroStrategy probably soon going to turn red. I can't think that this one's going to buck the trend when the stock market is down. Coinbase in a downtrend, Tesla in a downtrend. Absolutely brutal. I couldn't believe Tesla didn't even catch a bid yesterday. Based on the way yesterday's candle has closed over here, you have filled this gap, right? You filled the gap. But based on the close of that candle, that looks heavy. It looks like it wants to fall through one more time. You might even be able to pick up some Tesla under $200 before actually getting the bounce, right? Desperate times call for desperate measures. I did see that Elon Musk called on Trump and gave him a free red Tesla, right? So anything for a bit of a marketing stint over there to try get the numbers to go back up, but it's not working, right? It's not working. Let's see Apple over here. Apple also losing those key levels, breaking below the 200-day moving average. It's definitely painful. There will be bounces along the way. Now, when the stock market drops by a certain number, 10% or more, we can actually have a look at what it does 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years later. And the outcome is almost always green, right? So it's very rare that you get these massive drops. It does become a long-term opportunity. If you're an investor, don't get me wrong, it becomes a long-term opportunity. 40% 1 year later on average, 76.8% on average 3 years later, and 120% higher on average 5 years later. So if your time horizon is 5 years, chances are buying this blood is probably going to make you money in the long term, right? But I'm a little bit more precise, right? I'm a little bit more aggressive, and I want the best price possible, and I want the most upside possible. And that's how you get it, is by waiting to pinpoint when that reverses, right? So we've been looking at this over here. We highlighted specifically yesterday on the stock market has already lost that level. The equivalent of this would be timing-wise for Bitcoin to break down below. So the question remains, will we see a catch-up with Bitcoin catching up to the stock market? If it does, you would expect Bitcoin could drop all the way down into the 60 to 70K region. And I think when you look at all the other charts I'm about to show you, it's absolutely screaming that it wants to come into that region. And I'm not going to be really touching Bitcoin until it probably does hit that level. So if you do want to trade other markets, there is always a bull run somewhere, right? There's always a bull run somewhere, because as we see, the US equity is getting absolutely killed. If you look at China, well, if you look at their currency, it's at one of the strongest levels since November the 13th, 2024. And I don't know, I've actually been looking at this, that this might actually come down, but that drives their stock markets up even more. Similar to if the DXY goes down, usually that money flows into risk on assets. And you're seeing the DXY still struggling at that mid-range. We'll see if this catches a bounce today, but starting to push through over here. And this tells you that money is leaving the US, right? People are panicking out of the US. They don't want to hold the US dollar. They don't want to hold US currencies. But if you look at some of the other charts, right? We'll go over here. Let's go back onto this time frame and see what that trend looks like. And we'll look at, for example, Alibaba, right? Alibaba is the Amazon of China. Well, this is in a roaring uptrend. Very, very, very powerful, very different picture. So if you're studying the US markets versus the Chinese markets, there is always a bull market somewhere. If you want to trade these markets alongside us in Whale Room, well, you can, right? We have hired a full-time trader, professional trader, trading the stock markets long and short. So if you want to jump into there, and crypto is not doing it for you at the moment, because it's a difficult trade, there is an opportunity over there. Some of you also said BitFundMe, right? We'll talk about that as well. We'll touch on it towards the end, but I do want to let you know, for anybody that does sign up to Whale Room before the end of this week, you will get yourself a free Bitfunder challenge, right? 100% free Bitfunder challenge that will come with that. All right, let's continue. So DXY, we're keeping an eye on that. Bitcoin dominance, just showing the wreckage in the altcoin sector, which is killing the sentiment because most people are altcoin heavy. You have the highest close ever, well, not ever, actually, the highest close within this crypto cycle on the Bitcoin dominance, now closing all the way up here at 62.23%. I'm still going to be paying attention to this, right? Despite that, the fact that it seems absolutely insane to even think about altcoins, I'll just be simply watching the reaction into this 50% level. That is your previous wick over there, the inefficiency. If it shows signs of weakness and rejecting from here and it can break this trend line down over here, then that, dare I say, it might actually become the time to start to seriously consider allocating into altcoins whilst everybody else has capitulated on them, right? Not yet. I want to be crystal clear. Not yet. I wouldn't touch them yet, not with a 1,000-foot pole. But if we see weakness over there, then maybe, right? So cool, let's continue. If we look at the USDT dominance as well, this is still in an uptrend. I also don't want to fade this. I don't want to enter any money into the crypto market until such time as I can see the USDT dominance either breaking down this downtrend. Yesterday, it was this red level over here. We're probably going to raise that bar, right? Not yet. It's too soon to tell, but we're probably going to, by the end of today, raise this bar over here. For now, we'll leave it where it is. So you either break down this level. Let's quickly grab our tool over there. You either break down this level, then I might start to get interested. You're killing this downtrend over here or the uptrend over here, moving into a downtrend again, and that should get crypto going, right? Or B, we hit the pink box over here. The pink zone is coming in between that 6.2 and 6.4%. That's where I expect major resistance to be found. So right now, the USDT dominance is in the middle of no man's land. I'm not interested in doing anything. I remain in a fully cash position while prices are at these levels. Okay, cool. There are ways to make money in these markets, guys. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I'm specifically going to be focusing on Ethereum. I believe that there's some high value zones here where you could probably pick up Ethereum for the long term. Now, I'm going to make it very easy for you by creating a bot, right? I'm going to create a bot. I did warn you of this before. I'm still busy with it, so I'm just getting all the final little tweaks on the bot before we release it tomorrow. You'll be able to simply just click a copy button that will copy that. That is going to be on Pi-Nex, right? So I think one of the best trade opportunities is going to be on ETH in the coming 6 to 18 months. So if you do want to copy that bot tomorrow, there's a link that's in the description below to Pi-Nex, right? Go over there to that. Click on that. Tomorrow we'll release the bot feature, which will be underneath here, where you can simply just copy. So sign up over there to Pi-Nex. You can register, make a deposit, claim your sign-up bonus over there. You can get up to $1,000 worth of sign-up bonus for free, which you can use in the spot, right? That's going to be tomorrow on tomorrow morning show. I'll do that. All right, let's continue. Okay, liquidation levels. Now, they're not that much over the last 24 hours, only 386 million. Usually we've been seeing billion every single day is between 800 and a billion that keep getting liquidated, and the majority are coming from the long side. Last 24 hours is from the short side, since we did get a little bit of a push up. But if you look over here, what's interesting, long to short ratio pretty even over there, but this is what's interesting, 24-hour volume dropping off an absolute cliff. And if we go and look at the BTC futures open interest as well, this is also falling off a cliff, which means that there is no real volume in the market. That creates a dangerous environment when you see specifically the stock market dropping the way that it is, right? Why does it create a dangerous environment? Because there's very little liquidity, low volume, low liquidity, no open interest really. Open interest is falling off a cliff. That is where you can see these capitulations, and that's what yesterday's show was about, right? So if you do end up seeing Bitcoin catching up to the drop that the stock market has put in, because if you look at the stock market, which is on the left, Bitcoin on the right-hand side, Bitcoin is theoretically still, hanging out somewhere around here, right? Timing-wise, that's the stock market has already taken out that level. So relatively, it's actually holding up. Now, I'm betting more on the side that it's not going to hold up. I'm betting on the side that is probably going to play catch up to the stock market. And that could be especially true when you see the 24-hour volume dropping, when you see the open interest dropping off, when you see the 7-day exchange volume going lower and lower. We're going to do a refresher on this in Whale Room just after the show when they do update the data. And my best guess is that this downtrend will persist, and we're going to see it's going to drop even lower, right? So lower lows and lower highs. No point jumping into crypto until such time as you buck that trend. Now, we definitely at a key pivotal point as we watch Bitcoin possibly come down into that key 72K zone. It's going to be vitally important that we bounce from that level. If we don't bounce, then the saying goes, this thing is cooked, right? This thing becomes cooked. I'm looking over here on the weekly time frame. A lot of people have started to identify this, and that's the relationship between price putting in the high lows and the RSI holding the 44.72% or 44.272 level, right? This horizontal blue line. You're coming directly into that. If Bitcoin drops down to 72K, this RSI is definitely going to lose that level. What's more important is how Bitcoin closes. So if you wick down into that level, but you still somehow have a strong close, and you see that the weekly chart holds above this 44 level, that will keep the long-term bullish hopes alive, right? If we start to break this level, and I will update you on that in the future, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and you follow me on X as well if you don't already. The links are in the description below to my Twitter account. I will update you because this is gonna basically be that confirmation that we're in really big trouble. And that's why we need to watch this, right? The 44 level is vitally important. Every single major low and scare within the market. And this goes back, I have checked this historically as well. This has been significant even in the past, right? All right. Okay, so that's the RSI on the weekly. Now, if we do get that drop down, maybe, just maybe, we'll get an extension of the Bollinger Band with percentile into the yellow box. And that's where things start to get really overheated. And bears will probably start to take a bit of profit, right? So simultaneously, we're going to match these two things up as price does come down. So the expectation is price is going to drop, something like that. The Bollinger Band with percentile is going to extend into that zone over there where it starts to become overheated, like we've seen in the prior times. And that's where you expect that the move nears its end, right? The majority of the bearish move at that point would have been completed. Therefore, we start to flip and we start to look for major support and possibly even become a buyer into that zone. Nothing has changed on this chart. It's still calling for the same level. What has changed is we did get the daily close, and lo and behold, it was bearish once again, right? Lo and behold, it was bearish. We now have 3 candles closing underneath the underside resistance. That's 15 days closing under there. And that tells you one thing. This is rock solid, hard resistance over here. Remember, I sold at $92,000. I was all out of the market, 100% in cash. And this is telling me now with confirmation that very high probability you are coming down into the zone. $68,000 to $72,000, and it could happen this week. I would think it's going to happen this week, right? So that is your 4-day or your 5-day close, right? 5, 10, 15 days, all bearish over there. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. All right. Volume chart, resistance, right? Resistance all over the place. High profile volume area. This was one of the biggest warning signs and something we focused on for a very long period of time. And that was prices inability to get back above that $97,000 level. And we said, things will probably fall through. So based on everything that I've given you over here, still looking for something like this. This is where I'll be interested. I'd like to see a wick down into about, into this, $68,000 region. I'd like to see a wick down, hit that volume region, maybe get a little bit of a bouncy bounce over there, but hold and reclaim above 72. That's what I want to see. And then we coincide that with this, right? Weekly must close above 44. Otherwise, we start to break that and then big trouble, right? For now, full cash position. Nothing has changed. If you want to know when I am going long, come into Whale Room, right? If it's not during a live show, of course, I'll never leave you guys hanging. I value everyone the same. I value the live viewers. Remember, the Whale Room is a paid product. Of course, you pay to be in there, but it's value that goes beyond just me, right? You have multiple other professional traders. There's 5 of us in there that are keeping you safe and helping you to make profits across various different markets. So I won't leave the rest of you hanging, but the whale room will know first, right? If I'm not on a live show, of course, I'm going to go in there first, and you got the rest of you are only going to find out on the live show. So I'll drop that under the Captain's Take section over here. And remember, anyone that signs up this week, you are going to be getting a free Bitfunder challenge credited to you. I'll show you. This is how you do that, by the way, quickly. Just go through to the link below. You'll see it says giveaways. Email whale.giveaways@cryptobanter.com. So if you do sign up to Whale Room this week, just make sure you're using the same email address, or send us a screenshot or something, email it to giveaways, and then we'll fund you with a Bitfunded account. All right, let's continue. So that's Bitcoin calling for 68 to 72. It's still on the table. This is probably going to be your next lower high today. We'll see how today unfolds with all the rest of the information. You still have the possibility and potential for that bullish divergence on the daily time frame, but prices could still come lower, right? You might still see something like this. As long as it's above that, right? You might see the RSI actually break that, put in the high low. So I'll readjust this trend line at that point. That would be the 68, right? Like this. Let's just redraw that. Therefore, that would still be bullish divergence. All you need for the bullish divergence is that the RSI is higher than what it was back there on the 26th. And then this becomes a powerful buying opportunity. And we have a couple of days left. The end of this week, we will get the next bull moon, right? Now, the bull moon doesn't necessarily mean macro reversal, but it could mean short-term bounce. That's coming the end of this week, Friday, Saturday. Bull moon is coming into play, right? And we'll see if that can break above this resistance, or if it's just going to lead into a dead cat bounce, right? So it could, if we drop down here, it could just lead into a dead cat bounce back to 90K, test the underside resistance, and then we roll over again, right? We'll see how things go, one step at a time. So 4-hour chart, respecting the trend, lower lows and lower highs has been the name of the game. This is quite literally a downtrend. I spoke about this on the Whale Room live Zoom session that we had, I believe it was yesterday. And I said, watch this as resistance over here. You really need to see price at least getting above the 50 EMA, and that is governing that overall downtrend, right? So again, guys, if you do want to trade all these markets, we're still making profit both ways. Our traders are absolutely crushing it over here. Whale Room members, you guys can vouch for it. If you've had a good experience, go look at the reviews, right? So for Bitfunded, right, we're going to be doing a giveaway over here. I did mention anyone that joins, look at the link in the description, go to giveaways. If you sign up to Whale Room, you will be getting a free account. Remember, Bitfunded essentially funds you. You pay a small fee, $79, for example, to get $5,000 to trade with. If you're a good trader and you can pass these challenges, stage 1, stage 2, and you pass those two, stage 3, you're trading with real money. So if you take a big challenge, $799, and you pass those stages, you will be given $100,000 to trade with. If you outright want to buy those challenges, there is a link there as well, right? Cool. Let's continue. So we can have a look at some of the altcoins. ETH is breaking the long-term multi-year uptrend, right? It's breaking that. We are losing as well the major range support. This is your range low coming in at $2,100. So where to next? Where's ETH going next? Well, I prefer to look at strong horizontal levels to find major support. And the level that sticks out to me the most is going to probably be captured within this zone over here, right? So I'll be looking for major support into this zone. Let's just tighten that up a little bit. I would expect at the very least that you're going to put in a bit of a bounce coming in from this. You can see support leads into the move up. Just under 1,500, right? Just under 1,500. I think you're going to get an opportunity over there for a strong bounce if this does fall through. Now, if the stock market continues down, Bitcoin drops to 68 to 72, 100%. This is definitely going into that zone. Like, absolutely, there's no way that ETH is going to not do the same thing. 23% down, right? So at least 23%. You could drop below that. Going on to Solana, we've spoken about this one a lot as well. They're trying to hold this up, but the weekly tells you everything you need to know. That is a powerful bearish candle over there. Powerful. And therefore, they're probably going to follow that through. And I said it will happen this week. So any spikes up, I told you earlier on Monday or Tuesday, I told you, yes, you could see this spike all the way up, right? Even to like 150 and still slam down by the end of the week. And I'm still sticking with that. I think very unlikely that they basically deviate this here. And if they do, great. Next week only will present that trade opportunity, right? Next week will give that trade opportunity. Otherwise, expectation would be this is going to drop definitely sub $100. Like $99 would be my minimum. I think it could potentially capitulate down to $77. And then that's the question, right? Do you get the reaction off of there? So if you do get a deviation like this over time, that would look good, right? On Solana. There we go. Deviate back above the key support that we're at right now, which is about 126. Well, the key support that we're actually losing right now. Sui. Okay, Sui is holding up over here. You know, this one looks a little bit better. Still a very, very bearish previous weekly candle close. The previous week gives you information as to what would come next. So based on the previous week, it's still bearish, right? I definitely wouldn't touch this unless I saw momentum come in and a proper shift. I'd much rather buy this higher with something like that. And if you guys remember, you know, I did mention at the time when we started to break down these levels above $4 that I sold all of my Sui over there. That was a very, very profitable trade, and I would like to buy it back. I'd definitely like to buy it back. So I'm going to be waiting to see, to pull the trigger on that. All right, let's have a look at something like Hype. How's Hype doing? Let's go on to, I think on this chart, I had already mapped out all the levels. Hype is another one that I am interested in buying into when I do find a major bottom on Bitcoin. But for now, you know, the downtrend persists, right? So if Bitcoin is going to drop, like there's hardly any levels to work with here. You know, you TA-wise to map out the major supports. There's nothing to really look at. So I think that the best case over here is you just have to wait for the trend to reverse, right? We can look for divergences and things like that with the RSI. You know, if price keeps putting in lows and the RSI puts in high lows, you know, maybe there's a bit of an opportunity over there. But otherwise, I'd rather just wait for this to properly reverse and get a bit of an opportunity over there. All right. Okay, so that is Hype, Hyperliquid. Okay, what else, guys? What else? Let me know in the comments. If you do want to learn more about all of this, by the way, you are welcome to join into Whale School, right? We're taking signups right now. You have a bit of time. I'm going to be traveling as well over the course of Friday and Saturday, so I probably won't be doing a show then. So definitely make sure you come and watch tomorrow. And yeah, if you want to jump into Whale School, it is completely free. You don't have to pay $1,999. You can use the WeX link below, right? Transfer $200 into the account. They'll give you $100 for joining, and then they use the user ID to get you into school. And that works for any of the crypto schools, any of the crypto schools. Okay, and there are new ones coming, by the way. They're bringing on some absolute power courses, right? So if you want to join Eric Crown's course as well, you know, you can still use that same link. Okay, cool. Bearer chain, straight down, right? It's not looking good. If we look at, let's go on to Phantom as opposed to Sonic, because it's just got more price history. So, you know, I will be watching this if this comes down towards this wick, maybe about 35 cents. We'll see if there's any sort of a reaction over there. If Phantom can hold up, that's also one that I'm interested in for the longer term. So I'm interested in still for short-term play, Solana, Sui. I'm actually interested in ETH. Hence, I'm going to be giving you the bot setup that I'm going to be accumulating specifically ETH. So ETH, Sol, Sui, Hype, Phantom. Those are the ones that I'm interested in right now for the longer term. Not really looking to too much else. Let's quickly see how Mantra is doing. So Mantra definitely in a very, very tough position over here based on that candle over there. I wouldn't be surprised if this candle started to move down and the top is in for Mantra. We took our profits on this a very, very long time ago though. Ondo, also hanging around these regions. It's not too bad. Some of the other charts are worse. You know, it is holding that level. So we'll see if it can respect that. If you get a full red candle underneath that trend line, then of course expect lower. You're going to track these horizontals, 59 cents, and then, you know, 29 cents. Super, we can look at Super. I think Super got heavily wrecked. I mean, it's not surprising. It's in the gaming sector. It was one of the only coins that rallied in that gaming sector, and that's what it looks like, right? So you have a huge inefficiency candle on Super, which is coming down into this zone over here. And I think, you know, pretty much guaranteed it's coming in this box. Definitely. It's just a question of how deep into this box. I would typically target around the mid-level, which is going to be 23 cents. So for me personally, Super is going to drop at least another 40%. And this is what I spoke about, right? I spoke about this the whole of last week. I think even the week before that, we said like altcoins are telling us that things are probably still overall going to go lower. Overall, they're going to probably go lower. All right. Peanut, surely not. Surely not. Peanut is dead. Let's have a look at Peanut. There's no way that this thing is not at zero already. Let's see. Peanut. Let's use Peanut the squirrel on 𝗥𝗢, because 𝗥𝗢 has the most price history usually. And exactly as I thought. It's horrendous. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Like you can drop it on the daily. Every bounce should just be shorted or go to zero. I'm sorry, I know that it's pretty brutal what I'm saying. Maybe you hold a lot of that and you're hoping it's going to come back. But every bounce will go to zero, right? Even if you get a massive bounce to the yearly open, which is possible, right? Of course it's possible, but you have to think these things are short-lived, right? Especially Peanut, like it was the squirrel that got killed, right, by the Democrats, I think. It can bounce 300%, but then you definitely want to exit that position. So if we are moving into a macro bearish market, as per what the stock market has shown, any excitement or bounces that lead up, look to these kind of things like these memes that becomes an easy short trade, just short it. Okay. Link. We've looked at Link a lot. We said, I think Link to, was it $8? Let's have a look over here. Let's quickly go to Link. There it is. I think that was the level. Yeah, $8, I think is what I said last time. Still the same. Between $8 and $9, I expect that it's going to fall through this level. Okay. Most of the things are going to be bearish, right? One thing I want to know is where's the bonk buys, the bonk guy. I think his name is like Unipix or something on Twitter. The bonk guy who had this highly leveraged position and he was up like $10 million or something. Does anyone know what his liquidation level is? Let me know. I would love to know. Like, I think that this thing is going to come all the way down. At the very, very, very least, I think it's going to come down into this zone. So I want to know, where is the bonk guy's liquidation level? I'm not hating on him. I hope he doesn't get liquidated. I definitely wouldn't wish that upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. But I think that ultimately this is going to retrace into here. Where is the bonk guy's liquidation? Can anyone let me know that? That means this thing is going to drop another, man, that's bad. Should we even say it? I mean, at least 50%. He probably closed it. I don't think so. Perma Bear. I mean, I don't know where you've been the last 2 years. I bought pretty much at the bottom, 16.8 all in. Like, what do you want me to say? And we only exited now at 92. That was the swing trade. We played it almost perfectly. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sell the exact top. More chance of buying the bottom. Why? Because you have support levels that you can work with. But selling the exact top, you need a lot of confirming signals, right? I don't even want to suggest yet that the exact top is in, guys. I'm not even saying that. Like, it is possible that you find major support over here. And if you were in Whale Room yesterday, where we spoke about the potential targets and how it would play out with an Elliott wave count, there is always a chance that this is wave 2 of the Elliott wave count with the broader wave 5. So you're in a wave 5, macro wave 5, and this could be a wave 2. It could be, but it also could be an ABC correction. If you want that info, it is in the Zoom recordings for anyone that was in the Whale Room Zoom yesterday. All right. Cool. It's all about risk management. Guys. Protect your capital, risk management, wait for safer levels to get in. If you have a confirmed downtrend, you do need to be careful. Curve. We can have a look at Curve. I know Rand is super bullish on Curve because of the stablecoin market and things like that. But, the chart looks pretty wrecked to me, at least last time I looked at it. But let's look again. Let's see. What does this thing look like? So like this, I'm never a fan of a chart that I consider this the pump, right? It's over. Like, that was the bull market and it never returns ever. Like 99.99% of the time, these coins will never come back to those levels ever again in the next cycle. So they had their 21 cycle, 2021, massive pump, came down. I would say that was their 2023, 24 cycle. It's over. I would expect every bounce after that to be lower. If Bitcoin runs to 200K, maybe somehow it does that, but I don't believe this will ever take out that level over there. So Curve, I guess that's not the question. You asked, what I think of Curve. This is a key level. I mean, so hard because these charts are just so terrible, but you know, that was the support level that led to the initiation of the big move up, support level that bounced price over there, you know, support level that led to the next bounce over there. So this is clearly a bit of a key zone. Let's tighten it up a little bit. You know, previous month's low as well leads to the little bounce, rejects, comes under it, deviates, gets back above. Now you're back testing. But the thing is, there's no momentum, there's no volume, there's no volatility. I just wouldn't see any reason to buy this. And even if you do, like, where are you invalidating, right? Like, what's going to happen on this coin that's suddenly going to lead to, you know, this? I just don't see anything. It's what's most likely to happen is this. That's the most likely outcome. That's the truth. I've seen it over and over and over again. Like, you can pull up almost any chart that you want that has 5 years of history and you'll see. Am I still holding SOL? Absolutely no chance. I sold all of that stuff long ago. And I told you guys publicly. Maybe you weren't on all the shows. I always tell the Discord first what I'm doing, and then I tell on YouTube, which is like usually the next day. I have no crypto, guys. I have Goku and a couple of other small meme coins that I bought pretty much when it was like zero. So there's no point in ever selling it. Other than that, I am 100% in cash. If you look at my portfolio, it's 99.8% cash. No audio. Just turn your volume up. Volume. Put your volume up. Okay, cool. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comment what else you want. Let's see. Any inverse trades? By inverse, I don't know if you mean shorts. Not yet, because the shorts were for yesterday, right? And that was dropped in Whale Room. If you go to Whale Room in some of our other trader sections over here, you know, the short trades were dropped already yesterday. We took the shorts. Today, you're now coming towards support, and we need to see, does support hold, or we're going to break through that level? I don't know yet. So there's no trade right now. Now we just need to wait. The best position to be in is a cash position. This is something important for all of you to remember. The most money that you're going to make is in the bullish market, right? Shorting is great and well for, you know, small trades. Like, you use a small percentage of your overall broader portfolio, and in a bearish market, you try and make a little bit of money on the side, right? But you don't make your life-changing money shorting the market. It's just not how it works. Like, very few people in the world, if 99% of people are unsuccessful and not profitable in trading over time, I can tell you, of those 99% who are profitable, 99% of that, of the 1%, 99% of that 1% would probably also be unprofitable when it comes to shorting the market, which means you had like got a 0.01% chance that you're actually going to make serious money shorting the market. Shorting the market is like, you know, that's kind of like your pocket money. It's just a little bit of pocket change, keeps you sharp and intact with what the market is doing. So you keep your finger on the pulse, you make a little bit of money on the side for the weekend or whatnot, but you're not going to make like your house money. You're not going to buy houses and stuff from shorting the market. That money is made in the bullish market, right? Well, when it's a bear market and you buy the lows, like when we got in at Bitcoin 16.8 to 17.2 was when I entered the market with everything I've got, and I exited at 92,000. That is your life-changing wealth. That's where you make that. When the market's coming down, we just try and preserve capital and make a little bit of money for cheese and wine. All right, cool, guys. We're not in a bear market, though. We don't know yet. All in 24. I agree with you. We don't know yet. It absolutely could 100% still be a bullish market, but we've broken down high time frame weekly structures, which is not a good sign. So you would need to create a higher high now to confirm that this was a bear trap. And the highest probability is that you're going to set a lower high. Don't get me wrong. Even today, guys, you could see huge bounces. We could see altcoins doing 100% bounces, 300% bounces. And then you're going to look to me like I'm an idiot, right? You're going to be like, look at this moron coming with his bearish thumbnails every day, and we're up 300%. What an idiot. But understand that 300% bounce is probably going to lead into a lower high on the altcoins. You know, Bitcoin would do about a 50% bounce and would be a lower high. 50% for Bitcoin, 300% for altcoins. And then we know, are we in a bull market or bear market? If it's a lower high, we're in a bear market. So we'll know soon enough, right? It's going to take a bit of time. Stay tuned, be here each and every day, and then we'll find out. All right, cool. I am checking the comments. Anything else? Anything else, guys? Cool. For those of you that want to jump into Whale Room, please remember, look at the description below. Everything is explained over there. Email that giveaway's email address with your proof that you signed up, and we'll credit you a free Bitfunded account. That is it from me. I'll see all of you on the next one. Also, get your Pinex accounts ready. Tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you the bot. The sooner you get in, the better. I'll see you all on the next one. Have a good day, and cheers for now.